gentlemen, welcome to Slice of Piefer. I'm Dr. Piefer. I am here today with the one and only Vidalia.
Also known as Taylor.
Also known as Taylor, partner in crime. Give us some names if you want. And we have with us Summer Reinecke. She spent an amazing day with us today. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to be here. Glad for you to be here and me to be here. Man, we're off to a great start.
Hey,
off to a really good
blink
start.
twice if you need me to sneak you out that door.
If you need to escape, Taylor has a series of hand signals that you have to master to get out, just so you know.
Okay, so
The first one would be the A&M gig 'em, so I don't think you're going to do
horns
it.
down, right?
Horns. Exactly. Saw 'em off.
Okay.
All you Longhorns out there, did you see
Wrong
that?
horns.
That's right.
Sorry, guys.
Very good. Well, Summer is a sophomore at Arkansas.
Yes.
Yes, and studying pre-med.
Yes, pre-med biology.
Pre-med biology. So getting to do,
Like
you getting
the
to
study of
dissect any
living
things?
Not yet. And honestly, I love dissecting things, which is strange coming from a girl, but that was like the best part of high school and junior high for me.
It's the
Nice.
best.
What animals have you done dissections on?
We've done rats, owls, and then a toad or a frog, I guess.
Nice.
I had a Facebook memory pop up over the weekend. That was me saying bye to my cat that I dissected sophomore year in college. Her name was Lucille.
That is morbid, but thank you. Thanks for that. Thanks for that visual, Taylor.
I think,
Appreciate
when I
it.
was at A&M, I think the total of different species I ended up dissecting was over 50.
Really? What was your major?
Allied health education, but a heavy emphasis in biology.
Nice.
But so I did extra biology classes.
I think we did shark.
You didn't take A&P though, did you, for undergrad? You didn't have to.
Are required for a pre-med.
Not human. I did dog anatomy.
Dog.
I was in biomedical sciences at Texas A&M. So it's through the College of Veterinary Medicine. So
Oh.
yeah, very cool.
A&P was human, but the dissection was not human. Like we didn't have human cadavers in undergrad. You had to do it on a cat.
It was it was a cat. It's a cat for Arkansas.
That's who Lucille was my first semester. Second semester was Stinky Kitty.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a little bit rough. But
And so you have anatomy and physiology coming up in the
Yes.
future
Yes.
next year?
So next semester is physiology and then anatomy. Hopefully we're doing that one in the fall. So
Awesome.
that's where the dissections will come in. So
oh yeah.
looking forward to that.
That's going to be fun. And so you're in the throes of trying to decide medicine, medicine, what field of medicine, whether you want to do MD, DO, PA, nursing, physical therapy, all of the above, right? We got
Yes.
a million different, the world is your oyster.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
And what are you doing to try to make those decisions? For all of our young listeners, all of our 5 young listeners who want to know how to become not only a student at Arkansas, but a successful pre-medical student.
Well, for just like the first part, figuring out what I want to go into, it's shadowing, honestly, and talking to everybody, either it's PAs or people in the dentistry industry or doctors, just talking and seeing what their opinions are, because everyone's like, the path getting there has been different for them, and then they're like, oh, I wanted to avoid this, so I did this, or I wanted this in the end, but this profession didn't offer that. So it's asking people who are already in the industry the pros and cons, because you can search things up and like they might just tell you all the pros, and then you kind of like, oh, I just want to go this way, and then you look at it, trying to compare. All you have is pros. You don't have any of the cons on there to actually compare, because that's what the big kicker is, and like your big decision maker is, what do I not want from this profession? And if you're not given those from like your own research, like it's going to be so much harder to figure out what you actually want to do.
One, what somebody else's con might be your pro. Right?
Exactly. And so you just kind of I want to know what everyone else is doing, everyone's thoughts, what they prioritize, and what their experience was doing their path, and see if it's something that I'm interested in, if I want to put the time or my time into doing the same thing as them.
Right. For you, 50 dissections of animals is good. That's a pro. But maybe for some others, maybe they want to just do it virtually.
Exactly.
You never know.
Exactly.
You never can tell. That's awesome. Very good. I mean, that's great advice. There's a lot of people who are trying to struggle. And then I think there's a lot of people who are 19 in your same situation who are like, man, why don't I have a decision made yet? And the reality is like, you're going to change your mind. You could change your mind a million times before you finish college. You could be an investment banker. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but like you may realize
might completely pivot and just next thing you know, business major.
Right.
Never know.
But you have that ability to do that and you have the freedom to do that. And I think that's pretty cool to be able to look into the future and see what you want to do. And I think it's also important. I mean, what would you say, Taylor? What are your top 3 pros and top 3 cons from being a PA? Besides, obviously, me, and me. I'll let you categorize those where you want.
Perfect.
3 cons. Dang it.
Put those in the right order. Well, I mean, pros of being a PA, I love the flexibility. That was a high priority for me. You know, it wasn't when I was like a sophomore in college, but by junior year and definitely by senior year, when my dad got really sick, seeing what his life played out like and what the end looked like, I knew I wanted flexibility. I knew I wanted to be able to kind of control my own like hours and control my own specialty and all that kind of stuff and have the ability to pivot where I wanted to and have time for family, have time for making those memories because I watched him. He wasn't a doctor. He was an engineer, but he just was really high up in the company he was. And he never, he didn't go on vacations. He didn't do fun stuff. And he always said, well, when I retire, that's when I'll do all that fun stuff. And he never got to retire. So that became a big pro for me about being a PA. I think that in being somebody who was diagnosed in my teens with a juvenile spondyloarthropathy, I saw that the team-based approach of medicine worked out a lot better for patients like me versus a singular provider, working with you. So the person who ended up like diagnosing me and getting me on a good treatment plan, it was her. She had a nurse practitioner and a PA, and them working together and seeing that was really cool. So I like the team-based approach. And then for me, I always knew I wanted to do surgery, and I really liked sports medicine and orthopedics, and my fit was better as a PA than as a surgeon. I feel very qualified to help him do what he's doing in the operating room. I feel very confident in that role. And maybe I would have as an orthopedic surgeon too. But I mean, just my personal feelings was my capacity, especially with my past medical history, it was going to be better if I was more in like a first assist capacity. The cons are, you don't make as much money as a doctor. You don't take out as much debt as one either to become that. I graduated from PA school with 0 debt. Whereas if I had gone to medical school, I knew I was looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt that I was going to have to take out, which would have been worth it long term potentially, but it was a short term thing. Another con of being a PA, if you really want to be autonomous and be the decision maker, the captain, so to speak, that sometimes isn't going to be your role as a PA. Some people it is, but most of the time you're going to have a supervising physician who overrides you. And in the state of Texas, at least, if I have a disagreement with him, his opinion trumps mine. Now I can ask for, I can take
like
it.
when she asks for vacation.
Right. It's more about medical decision making, not so much that kind of stuff.
Personal decisions, no vacations.
But I've looked it up before because I did have a disagreement with a surgeon over a treatment plan for a patient. And basically everything said, you can take it to essentially get other doctors' opinions and have the medical board weigh in. But at the end of the day, his opinion trumps yours on the care of that patient. If he says they need this and you disagree, he wins. And so that's a negative, I guess, as well. But again, then you've got there's still an avenue, right? There's still an avenue for me to make sure my patients are getting taken care of. So yeah, that's pros and cons.
I love it. So there you go. 3 pros and 3 cons. So I'll give you my pros. Orthopedic surgery rocks. It's the best. I enjoy leading a team, but I'm super grateful for the team that I get to work with, right? Because what I get to do, you can't do it. Like even if Taylor talks about being the kind of the last decision maker. If that really is your goal, then that you may not even being a surgeon may not be your best choice. Because if I think that what I make decisions about is the only end all be all. Like there are so many people who help me in the operating room, who help me in clinic, who help make my world move. That if I had tried to do all those things on my own, you're never going to get there. And so I think that it's a key, like being a team player and being able to work with a team. And maybe you're the team captain, but maybe, making sure you recognize the people you're with, I think is super important. And so being humble and gracious is a big deal, as a surgeon, in my opinion. But I think that's super important. And then I love a challenge, right? Everything we do is challenging. So medical school is a challenge. Trying to make the grades and do all the things we need to do to get into medical school is a challenge. Getting into orthopedics was a challenge. Continuing to do my job the way I want has been a challenge, and that all motivates me. I think that the cons, in order to be great at what you do, you've got to commit a lot of time. So you've got to really be dedicated and say, okay, it's going to take some time. But by the same token, like if you look at people who are going in and they want to become a CEO, if you told somebody, hey, if you commit the next 14 years, by the time you're 34, you'll be the CEO of your own company. Yeah. Most people would say like, sure. Because the average age of a CEO, you want to know the average age of a CEO in the United States?
60s?
56.
Yeah.
So
surprising.
I could say 6'7", but I won't. 55, 56 years old is so people then, if you get out of college at 22, you're talking about 30 years to get to that spot. And so even though medical school is a challenge and you've got to work long hours and you've got to do all these things, you're still in reality. I mean, not everybody's kind of their own CEO at 32, but for the most part, you get to be the leader of the team at that point. So that's kind of cool in terms of like, a lot of people are like, man, I don't want to go to school for that long. I just want to get out and start, making a living and paying the bills. And the reality is, if you really are thinking about playing the long game and to continue to become successful, you can do it in multiple different fields. But in medicine, you can definitely do it as a physician and as a PA and working. I mean, she gets NIL money from this podcast. It's crazy. Yeah. She makes
Still
more money.
Waiting on that check.
She makes more money on this podcast than I do.
That's true, because he's paying me to be on.
Because I make zero.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a misconception? Not because I never even thought about that. Like people saying like, "Oh, go into business because you make the money, right? You have your job." But like, do you think do you think it's quicker getting that higher leadership positions through medicine than it would be through like the business world, where people are like, "Oh, like you can easily just get in there," and like they think it's quicker, but in reality, like the timeline for like a doctor, which everyone makes out to be like so long to get up and be a doctor, is actually less time than it would be getting up higher in like a business position. Is that like a common?
I think it's a very common misconception because a lot of people, they just don't like school. Right?
That's what I think the big
they don't
is.
Like, it's like, man, high school was not my favorite, and then college really wasn't my favorite. Do I want to go do 4 more years where I have to take out debt to go into medicine? But the reality is, like, I mean, if you follow any of these people who are like super high level performers, right? What do they all say? Just get ready, give up time, work really, 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 really hard, and maybe by the time you're 35 or 40, you're going to be where you need to be. And anybody who's telling you like, just put in 2 years and you're going to be a multimillionaire, right? They're not. Yeah. Nobody's taking those people seriously, right? But the reality is, I think that's cool. The big thing, and we talked about this a little bit before the show, is you got to find what you love, right? Like, I mean, if working through that process until you're in your mid 50s and now you're a CEO of a company and that's what you wanted to do, but there's plenty of people who love being managers. There's tons of people who love to go out and just work with their hands. And I mean, and we need everybody, right? But the key is you got to find what you love. And I think that's super, super important. And so getting tunnel vision at 19, I'm not saying you have it, but getting tunnel vision at 19 is not what you need either, because the reality for me was when I was in med school, I mean, I was trying to decide between a million different things. Like, do I want to be a cardiologist? Do I want to be a family practice doctor? Do I want to do orthopedics? Do I want to do cardiovascular surgery? Do I want to do neurosurgery? What do I want to do? And every time I went on a rotation, I was like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So
he never thought he wanted to do nephrology, though.
Yeah, the kidney doctors. No, it is not. That's not easy. Just to be clear, understanding the physiology of the kidneys.
That's why he didn't want to do it.
Yes, that was too big a challenge.
Too hard.
Yes.
Can't do that.
You knew your limit.
But
like,
but I think that part's key. As you keep moving forward, is just keep your eyes open and enjoy life. I mean, the other thing that I'm a huge firm believer in is we don't know when our last day is coming. Right. So if you just put your nose to the grindstone until you're 28, and then you get, I don't mean to be morbid, but hit by a bus. Like you need to love life and enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
Enjoy the people you're around. Take advantage of that, because the roommates that you're talking about, like those are people who can be friends for the rest of your life, and it's worth it to just take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I would have been a student for life if somebody would just pay me to go to college. I love learning. Like
Me too.
That was one of the downsides of PA school. It's like only 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. But I think that's super cool. What classes do you have next semester?
I have biochemistry, ecology, honors sociology, genetics, and then how many classes was lab for? Oh, physiology with a lab. So
physiology.
2 labs, genetics lab.
So how many hours?
17.
And that
you're going to be busy.
All of those are pretty hefty courses.
That's but I keep telling myself it's not that bad. And then I have like my RA duties too, and I have a job, and then somehow I'm gonna fit in volunteering or something in there. So I'm just like, hopefully everyone says the genetics teacher is amazing.
That's good.
So hopefully that class is fine. Ecology, ecology is just Earth, right? I couldn't even tell you.
Sociology.
I know. And my honors sociology class is only 15 or 12 kids in it. So I have no idea how that class is going to look like. I think that one, I'm just taking that for the MCAT. I was like, need the credit, need the honors credit. I'll take that one. And then biochem, that one is like the only one I'm trying to like think of like as an actual class. Like everything else, I'm like, I can get by. That one I'm just going to be like focused on.
So somehow I missed when I signed up for my genetics class that I signed up for an honors genetics class. But the professor for that class, who was Dr. Gold at A&M, was like highly rated. And everyone's like, if you got him, like even if it's
golden.
honors, well, no, they're like, it's going to be hard, but you will learn a ton. And I really liked the time, and it was my senior year. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to take honors genetics. Why not? And I mean, it was a lot of work, but I mean, I ended up loving that class, which is interesting because when I was in PA school, I was like, are there PAs that do genetics? I think that I would be interested in doing that. And they do exist. It's a pretty rare job to find, but it exists. And then ended up having 2 kids with genetic disorders. So I was like, well, I'm glad I got that background, I guess. Because
she understands.
Yeah, I was like, I was drawn to it for a reason. And I took the honors course and learned about it really well for a reason, I guess.
I was prepping for you.
Yeah. It was interesting because we spent a lot of time talking about inherited metabolic disorders and doing that in the lab and stuff, and having mice with like PKU and stuff, and then have 2 children with it. So
there you go.
Yeah,
it's all good.
That time. That's going to be a fun semester for you. And you're an RA, so you live on campus?
Yes, on campus. Reed Dormitory, guys. It's great. It has a gym inside of it. I think it's one of the only 2 dorms, so it's going to be great when it's about to be freezing outside. I can just go downstairs, first level, work out, and then go back upstairs.
Nice. What? So there's a lot of students from this area, from the Woodlands and from the Houston area, who end up at places like Arkansas, Auburn, Alabama,
SEC schools. Yeah.
But what is it that kind of drew you to Arkansas?
Honestly, I don't even know. My dad was just like, I applied to A&M. I got an A&M. So I was between A&M and Auburn at first. Like those were my last 2 schools. I was applying for scholarships for both of them. And then last minute, my dad was like, apply to Arkansas. Like, you love the state. And like, I grew up in Virginia where like outdoors was like the main thing, had all 4 seasons. Like that's what I considered my childhood, was just living up there and being outdoors and everything. And so that's why I was like, I wasn't as drawn to A&M just because I've lived here for the past 9 years. I feel like I've seen everything. And I wanted to go somewhere different. And so that's why I was more set on Auburn. And then I applied to Arkansas like literally in February, either February or January, got it back. And then in the end, I was like, I want to go somewhere new, somewhere I haven't been before. I know tons of girls going. Everyone loves it. It's an SEC school. So like, I know the programs and everything was kind of going to be kind of similar. And I was like, I'll just go to Arkansas. It's somewhere different. It's beautiful. It's north. It's going to be cold. And I was going more for emotional side just because, again, everything I felt personally was going to be like on an equal playing field, like academically. And so I was like, I'm going to go there. It's somewhere different. I know girls going, so it's not going to be too out of the way. And we had friends up there who used to live down here, but I knew it'd be something different and my own thing. Like, my whole family like Arkansas, and I'm like, I don't know, guys. Like, it's something different, and it's like something new. So
but you've been happy with the choice. It seems like you seem really well adjusted, and like things are going great.
Yes, like I've honestly I love the school, and it has, and for an NCC school, like that big thing with like A&M, it's like it's massive. Like it takes a while to get across campus. I had plenty of swim meets there. Same thing. Auburn was smaller too, but it's a big school, but it's small. Like I can get across campus in 10 minutes type of thing. But I don't know. It's just great. It's just great. Class sizes are small too. I didn't know this, but like majority of my classes are like 20 kids or less. It feels like high school to where everyone like makes it like college. Like I was nervous going into college because like, oh my gosh, like papers and how are the tests going to be? Like I was so nervous for like the academics of it. But as soon as I got there, I was like, this is just like high school. High school plus better because it's not from 8 o'clock to 4 p.m. like type of vibe. So I was like, this is exactly what I need. Something new, something I can manage, and I'm still getting a college education, and I feel comfortable. I'm not stressed over the moon. It feels right. So
Cool.
That's what I enjoy.
That's awesome. Yeah. We were both Aggies. So we did have, I had a biology class with 250 people in it. We had big classes for sure. Biology, chemistry, physics, big classes with lots of students. But I got that same feeling. And if you do get that idea, like when you get a big school, people want to get smaller, right? You want to find your group. You want to find your people that you're going to be with. And so it sounds like Arkansas has been a super great fit for you, which is very, very cool and interesting to see, like, as people have make their decisions moving forward. Because I know more and more, my oldest is 17. And so we have started to know quite a few people who've graduated with you and graduated as they've moved forward, and who've gone to Arkansas, who've gone to Auburn, who've gone to Alabama. A few less for like places like LSU, and then a lot at A&M and whatnot. So very, very cool. That's awesome.
So were you a high school athlete?
Yes, I was on the varsity swim team. So I did that for those 4 years.
What was your swim stroke of choice?
I was a butterflyer and a breaststroker. So
nice. The two of the hardest.
Yeah.
So are you still, once you transition to college, that's a lot of times I feel like, especially if you're used to being like a competitive athlete, if you go to college and you're no longer like formally like, on like the swim team or on stuff like that, that was a struggle for me, leaving things like gymnastics and competitive cheer and all this stuff behind, and then going to college and going, well, nobody's forcing me to work out, so I guess I'm just gonna stop and move along with my day. But it sounds like you still enjoy like working out and being active. So how is that? Did you feel like you had a struggle with that at all, or did it just feel like natural to you to keep being active and moving?
Honestly, I've always been like the active kid in the family. I've always did all the sports. I did lacrosse. I did swim. Like I just love moving. And so when I came to college, I was like, heck yeah, I can do whatever I want. I can go to the pool. I can go lift weights. I can go do this. So
it wasn't even a question for you then.
Yeah.
It was just,
it's
I'm
like
gonna do
second
this.
nature. Yeah. Like I literally plan my days around what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, what I want to try something new.
She's going to do orthopedic surgery.
I can see, I can hear it as well. Yep. What about what was the hardest thing about transitioning? Did you have any challenges transitioning from high school to college?
Yes, mostly my social. So like at the bigger schools, like for I guess just SEC schools in general, especially if you're a girl, I feel like the sororities and the Greek life are like the big things there. And in Arkansas, like that is the social, like that's what you do. If you're a girl, you join a sorority, and that is where you make all your friends. I was gonna do it, but then I was like, I don't want to pay for it. I can get by. And so I've had this like experience too, like in high school, like where my friends, I don't become close with them until second semester. So like I'll be like, we're friendly first semester, but second semester is when like I solidify the relationships. But in college, you're only in your classes for a semester. And so like I'll get to like the really buddy stage by the end of the first semester. and then that person's gone. And then you might see them the next semester. And so I feel like the hardest adjustment for me was finding a group of people that I felt comfortable with, just because it's changing so much every single semester, and who you see and what you end up doing, what's popular as a basketball season, football season. So it's like there's so many moving parts. And so that's why coming into this year, I was not as nervous, but with the RA gig, you basically I'm in an all-girls dorm. So all my girls on my floor are all girls, all the RAs are girls. And so it's like already kind of like a built-in community where I didn't have to, who I'm with for an entire year. And I see them every single day, all day sometimes, if it's like on the weekends, or run into them in the bathroom. So it's multiple interactions rather than just like in the classroom. And so I've definitely felt a shift going into this second semester or the second year, just by having this role as an RA and then living on campus again. That was just the biggest thing. But if you're good with making friends quickly and like having like genuine relationships, then college is like that will not be a problem for you. But it's just always something I've struggled with personally, especially throughout high school and everything.
Yeah, I mean, the RA gig is a really, really good one that a lot of kids probably don't, or a lot of young adults don't think about, right, as an option. So that's very cool. Very nice.
Yeah, I was overwhelmed by like when I didn't even think about Greek life or anything like that when I was going off to A&M. It's not anything I'd ever even like really heard of or knew what it was about. And I show up and they're like, "Are you going to Rush?" I'm like, "I don't even know what that means." And they're like, "Oh, to join a sorority." And they're like, "There's this Rush week, you can go and do all this stuff." And I was like, "I have to pay how much money to be a member of this club to make friends?" Like, I've always made friends pretty easy, so no. But then you get labeled. If you're not for Greek life, then I got labeled. The term back in the day was GDI, which I'm not going to say on air because it would break our
The
clean
show
rating.
is G-rated, please.
Yeah, it's clean rating, so I'm not going to say it. But like, I literally had
She
people
usually just
call me-
laces everything with profanity, by the way. It's just profane. It's so sad.
Something like
Very
that.
unprofessional.
But like what you're saying, like I just found another way to like make friends. My freshman year I felt was a little bit lonely. Like
Yes.
it was a bit lonely because it was, going from a town where there's not even a stoplight to, so many thousands of people. And I knew 8 who from my high school went there, and half of them ended up joining some type of Greek life and, were off doing their own thing with that. And I had my roommate was from the same small town I am. So I had her. But we ended up joining things like Fish Camp and other different organizations where we met.
Met more people.
Exactly, yeah. And then like your pre-medical societies, I joined one of those, like just to try to find some
Branch
kind of
out, yeah.
community. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of finding that small group, right? That's the key. I think that, the big lesson that I saw was if you go out and look for it, you'll be able to find it somewhere, right? And if you find one that you don't like, you can always go to a different one. But if you sit in your room and you wait to see what happens, then you're going to sit in your room waiting all semester and you're going to be done. So like getting out to meet people, getting out and to go be a part of a service organization, getting out to be a part of something is really, really key, in my opinion, to just go finding that group. And it makes schools here, like the Woodlands High School has 5,000 kids. Like, and you don't know all 5,000 kids when you graduate. You're 10 or 20, right?
Yeah.
That were in your crew, or you're 5, or even for some people they're 2, And so all of that happens, and that's really kind of like life, right? In life, you can make 1 million best friends like some people we know, or you can just go out and find your place, which I think that's really,
You
really
literally
good.
just told us about how the 10 people that work at Starbucks are your best friends.
That is true. They are my best friends. They know my name.
Everybody.
And every time I go in there, like, "Hey, Jason," and I say, "Hey, how are you?" Fantastic.
So my husband by nature is like an introverted extrovert. So he doesn't making close, quick friendships doesn't happen for him, which is not like this guy here.
Yeah.
And one day he said, "I don't think Jason Piefer's ever met somebody that he doesn't immediately assume is his best friend."
That is true. Just so
It's
you're clear.
It's so accurate. Like, it's funny. He's like, "Yeah, my new best friend." And he's talking about like the checkout clerk at HEB.
That's true. But people are really nice. There's a lot of good people out there. So
That's how my dad is. He can make friends with like anybody. anybody. And I'm not sure if it's just his personality or just who he is, but like the same way like he can make friends with anybody he interacts with. And then like he'll like remember them and everything. And I'm like, exactly how in the world? And everyone loves him. And I'm like, well,
it's all good.
Lucky duck.
Everybody loves you too, probably. That's the key.
I don't know.
Yeah. So that's what you just tell yourself at least.
Oh, yeah,
Man,
everyone loves me.
all those people at Starbucks, I mean, they write me notes on my cup every day. Like, have a great day.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
It's not like it's like
Jason.
mandatory.
One time they did write a calculus equation on there. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that one.
I did a whole video on it because I was like, what on earth are they trying to tell me?
It's like code.
This is a secret calculus code. It was awesome.
Starbucks points.
Yes.
What is your?
They give me points all the time at Starbucks. Those people have got to be my good friends.
Away.
Yeah. It's like every single time I get a coffee, nitro cold brew, more points. And then every once in a while I get a free coffee. I'm like, these guys love me. This is the best.
What is your favorite Alani flavor?
Right now it's either so like my go-to that's not a seasonal one because obviously seasonal ones are only seasonal. I like the raspberry. It's like the blue can.
Oh, the blue raspberry.
Yes.
Blue slush.
Not the blue slush. It's the
Sorry.
raspberry one.
Taylor judges everyone based on their Alani flavor.
I do.
So is that a good flavor?
Yeah.
Was I supposed to do this? Raspberry, what was it? Raspberry, blueberry. Sorry, I was concentrating
it's
on
not this
pushing.
one?
I was
No, it's
concentrating
not
too
that
much
one.
on pushing the buttons.
I think it's called raspberry. So it's raspberry.
Razzleberry.
Maybe.
What about Rizberry? It's like extra Riz. She's like, no.
Breezeberry.
Yes.
Did you see? She almost exploded.
So funny.
Breezeberry.
Stuff like
That's
that
a good
makes
one.
me gaggle.
That's a good one.
Rizberry.
It's like
That would be my favorite.
Tart.
They have it.
It's like one of the tartar ones. But then if it's a seasonal one, I just had the witch's
Pumpkin spice Alani.
I actually think they have those. Check on eBay. They were selling them for like
They were
20
terrible.
bucks.
It was terrible. Don't do it. Don't do it. I tried it and I was like,
Alani. When she says terrible, that's a code word for it's the best.
they know.
So,
They know.
No.
They didn't release a ton of them, and there's a reason.
Taylor,
The pumpkin.
they're paying us nothing currently.
So they gave us a like 12 pack. Like in their 12 pack, they had 8 of them or plus. It was like most of them were the witch's brew, and like 3 were the pumpkin spice because they knew that product was.
I don't
Witch's
even
Brew's
know.
good?
Witch's Brew is
Yeah, it's like a caramel apple
it's
flavor.
so good. It's like think of like a Jolly Rancher, a green apple Jolly Rancher,
Yeah.
but in a drink.
Yeah, that's what it tastes like.
That sounds like I would like it.
You
It's-
would. It's really
My
good.
husband likes it. It's not my favorite, but I like it. It's not one I would have every day, but it's
Yeah,
like a fun.
If it's sweet.
Winter
I would have
Wonderland
it.
this year is good. I didn't like it last year.
What's this one?
I
year
know
it's good.
this. I think they changed the
Pomegranate.
recipe.
Pink
Barf.
slush. This is my go-to. Is pink slush.
They need more pomegranate drinks. I'm a big fan of pomegranate, and I feel like there's no drinks that are pomegranate.
I love
There's
pomegranates.
one called Palm. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Where it's just
seen it.
Juice.
pure,
It's just pomegranate
pure.
juice.
It kind of looks like a pomegranate.
Yeah, it's like
a round thing, and it says
Yeah.
POM.
Yeah, I always saw those when I was a kid. And I was
Yeah.
just like, what is
We're still
this?
looking for
We had-
sponsors, Palm. Come on.
We had a
Help us out.
pomegranate tree in my yard when my mom bought, like when my parents separated, my mom bought this house and it has this really cool pomegranate tree. And I was super excited. It's the first time I ever had a tree in my yard that produced fruit, right? Because I grew up with a bunch of oak trees.
Yeah.
So stoked. I'd go pick them. I would take all the time to like take all the seeds out and eat them and stuff. My stepdad, who was a landscaper and at this point was just like my mom's boyfriend. I was at my dad's house for a weekend and I came back and he had ruined it. Like he had chopped it down to get rid of it because he thought it was ugly. Without telling my mom, without asking
go
anybody.
insane.
And to this day, you know, this is now, we're talking 20 plus years removed. I still give him a ton of grief about getting rid of my pomegranate tree. I know.
We've gone 2 shows in a row with stepdad shade. I don't know if that's the way we want to roll with this show.
What are you talking about 2 shows in a row? We haven't talked about my stepdad before.
Didn't we talk about your stepdad?
We didn't tell anybody who we were talking about. The person was anonymous.
The anonymous. Oh, interesting.
Thanks, Dr. P.
Sorry about that. So, well, I take that. Well, I don't remember.
Just distract.
Yeah, just look over here. It's fine. Ooh, this is the most sound effects in one show for us. 3. Congrats.
Thank you.
Welcome. You anytime. We can do it. We can do it. So one of the things that we ask everybody a little bit about is leadership, because
Dr.
somebody
Piefer wants to.
here thinks that they're a leader. And so, but at 19, right, I guess you had swim, which is more of a bit of an individual sport, although you've got some relay things happening, and you've got teams, right? It's team competitions. I'm sure there were captains on the swim team, but where do you see kind of what are your goals for leadership? What do you think makes a good leader?
I think the most important goal is being personable. It's like, and this comes in like many forms, obviously, but I was actually talking about this last night with my mom, but 'cause she's a coach, and I was like, I feel like the easiest way to get into your like community and like your people you're leading is to know them, and is to make them feel comfortable with you. Because if you create an environment where the people don't like you, I mean, that's like obviously like this ain't gonna work out. If the people you're trying to lead don't agree with you or don't want to follow you in the way you instruct, then you're not going to get anywhere. But if you like create an environment and get to know the people at like an actual like genuine level, I feel like they'll be willing to do anything for you at that point. They'll be able to listen. You'll be able to work towards that goal. And if you lack that, and I've experienced girls like on the swim team trying to they wanted to be like team captains. The coaches saw right through them. So they were never named it. But that also took it away from everyone else who wanted to be one, because they just took away the team captains altogether because of the drama. But it was very selfish or very superficial, where they would be nice to some girls but not nice to others. So it created this funky dynamic within the group that it ultimately just led to no one liking each other and always creating this tension. So, but if you're able to like genuinely like be there presently with your interactions and get to know them, not as a leader or like trying to be a leader with them, but be like one of them, and then take on those roles later on and create the structure, then you will be more effective as a leader. And I feel like it's so hard nowadays because people are just, it's either the power goes straight to their head. I know girls currently who are like that, and it's like as an RA, I know some other RAs who are on the floor, and like the girls don't reciprocate to them, but like they'll come to me and like I'll treat them more as friends, but I still set the boundaries of like, hey, like we can't do this or we can do this, like, but they're more willing to come to me and talk to me if they feel comfortable, if they feel like they're going to be respected in the conversation. I mean, they're not being just demanded. It's not just like that like straight line is not the right word for it, but the distinct like separation between them. You want to have some overlap, but still establish yourself as like, I'm still in charge, but you still have that connection with them. I feel like that's like the biggest thing with a leader.
I think part of what you said too that was really, that resonates a lot in today's like technology too. These bigger companies are paying to have their employees take these personality assessments and strength and weakness assessments, so they can figure out like, oh, this person's an innovator, this person's a helper, this person's a peacemaker. And they give them, enneagrams and all this kind of stuff. A platypus.
Sorry, Taylor's trying to make a very important point, and I'm just.
But
this is an armadillo.
It's what you
have a hard external shell, and you also may carry leprosy.
Yeah, and when we give you a beer bottle, you latch around it.
Sorry, go ahead.
They pay all this money to have all this testing done, and the smart leaders use that knowledge to their advantage, right? Like you're saying, you get to know the people that you're leading. And so you understand like, oh, this person's not being like defiant. Like this person is an innovator, right? So they constantly are going to test boundaries because they're looking for a better way, or they're a creator, versus other people who are not going to shine in that realm, but maybe have some strengths elsewhere. And again, a lot of these companies are paying big money to do all these assessments and stuff. And it's funny because I was just talking to somebody the other day about how their company made them do all this testing, but they're not utilizing that.
They're not acting on it.
Yeah, they're not acting on that knowledge. And it's like, if you know that you have somebody here who it says has a 99 percentile of being somebody who's an innovator and a leader, and you're refusing to like let them do that, or to put them in capacity where those strengths are going to be elevated, then you're not really a good leader either.
Exactly.
Right? You're just checking boxes that somebody somewhere said the Fortune 500 companies are doing this,
Right.
but not actually using that information to their benefit.
I agree.
This gal's a real zebra.
Zebra.
I think just an amazing answer from somebody who's 19 years young. That's really, really good. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. You've got to be willing to be on the same level with people. You've got to treat people with respect. If you treat people as a leader like they're just tools for your game, or they're tools in your operating room, then you're never going to get anywhere with them. And ultimately, they're going to go find someplace else where they're treated better, or where they get paid more money, or where they can they can be treated poorly and get paid better. So, but all of that actually really comes down to loving people. It comes down to making sure that those people that you're with, that you continue to try to lift them up, and that they know that you're really doing that, genuinely doing that, right? You can't, for us, like in the operating room, you can't shout down your operating room for 30 minutes or 45 minutes while you're doing a surgery, and then at the end say, "Oh, thank you guys," right? It doesn't, that it's not genuine, right? That you genuinely really do need to care, and you need to figure that piece out. And I think that's really, really good that you know that and have that insight now. And I'm sure that all of the women who are on your floor, who you're helping lead as they lead through things, and when they have challenges and when they have struggles, and they say, "Hey, this is another person who I can go talk to who can help me," right? Because a lot of people just feel alone. They feel like, man, I need somebody. Can somebody just help me a little bit? And you're in that role there, and I know, I can just tell that you do a good job at it, which is really good. Really good.
Awesome.
So everybody gets a pie. You are the first person because, we can talk about our day. I think we should talk about our day first, because we had a kind of a cool day, right? We did clinic.
Yes.
Did you have a favorite part, or a part that you thought you had questions about from clinic itself?
I found it, since this is my first time doing clinical, I guess, being in the clinic, there we go. I've never seen the actual the needles and stuff like that. I've always just seen what pops up on my Instagram feed and stuff, and I'm like, ew, I get squeamish. Which is why my parents you need to get in there, because granted I do get squeamish with certain things. Squeamish in the fact that I'm ee.
Those sounds from, what is it called?
ASMR.
AJR? No, that's a band. AJR is pretty good, actually. They're a good band.
Bang.
Yeah. ASMR. I learned about that 20 minutes ago, so.
He's an expert now.
Yeah, he is. But doing steroid shots and stuff like that, seeing that firsthand, and being able to be I can do that. I can see that and not have a reaction to it is interesting. And you just being able to feel and understand everything, and just look at the charts and stuff, and be just quickly scan it for that 1 minute, maybe even less, 30 seconds, and be okay, I know exactly what I need to say, what I expect to come from. And then you get their information, and just being able to be okay, and here's exactly what happened. And you can just instantly just go in and just not obviously solve the problem, but be able to create a plan for them so quickly is so jaw dropping. So I'm just how much information is behind is up in there.
That's why all the hair fell out.
That's also why he forgets to do things like bring the files into the office that have been in the back of his car, or take the food to the food pantry.
Listen, that food in the car is going to the food pantry. Don't you worry.
I believe it.
It's non-perishable. So.
Perfect.
So yeah, clinic is super fun. It's when you've been doing it for 14 years, a lot of those things become relatively straightforward. You could see a lot of the plans are very similar as you start to make those plans, but it's super important that you get to know the patient, that you get to lay your hands on them, so that you can understand what's hurting, what's moving, what's loose, what's not loose, where their strength is, all those different things that are part of the physical exam. And then we, on top of that, have now x-rays, MRIs, CT scans to evaluate, and then you've got to make the plan and implement it. And so that's super fun to be able to do, and to see people get better is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, and then you got to go to the OR.
Yes.
And travel.
Fun.
You got to travel in my car, which is kind of traveling in a rolling garbage can, but it's all good.
I was in the front, so it was okay.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything up front.
Nice.
I had lots of snacks where I was.
Yes. What'd you think about the operating room?
That was cool. You you always see it on TV or you read about it, but actually being in there, it's like, ooh, it's like a whole different view. And like, again, I know the first two procedures were the same thing, just on different hips.
Right.
So that was, again, it just seemed like second nature to you, just being able to do it so quickly and so efficiently was just like, okay, so at some point you're going to reach this level of like, not mastery, because I know everyone's like, you can always improve somewhere, but just that level of your position is just so inspiring. And then when you did the whole, the knee thing, I was like, what is that called?
Knee arthroscopy. Yep. We scoped a knee. Yep.
That was cool. And like, again, just seeing everything firsthand. Cause like you like kind of, I was worried about being like, oh, that's a person. Like, oh, it's kind of scary. But, or like watching it through the TV is totally different than watching it in person, because like you're there, you're in the room, you can see like the decisions you're making, all like the behind the scenes things. It's like so much more engaging when you are there. And then like watching it on the screen, I was like, what is that thing? Where are we? Which direction are we facing? Up, down? I don't know. What's that little flying thing over there? Like,
It does. I mean, that takes a long time. A lot of orthopedic surgeons, medical students, I mean, it takes a while. So to be the first knee scope that you've ever seen and to be like, I got a little bit lost while I was looking at the screen, that's totally normal. Yeah. Like everybody gets lost a little bit and you're like, it looks kind of like I'm on the moon, you know?
Yeah.
Or I think someone said this looks like crab meat or something like that. So at some point, Taylor was kind of
grading
hungry.
the Condor Malaysia. Grade 3 is crab meat.
Yeah, Taylor was just hungry. She's been working out and drinking Alani.
He really wants Alani to sponsor.
She really wants Alani. But mostly she wants the pumpkin spiced one, apparently.
yeah.
No, thank
Don't
you.
make faces. Come on.
It's not good. I love Alani. I purchased so much. I have a 24-pack being delivered to my house today from Amazon.
Of pumpkin spiced Alani?
Pink slush.
I think the
slush.
pumpkin spice ones are like super expensive on eBay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not
They're
worth
reselling
it. It's
them.
not worth it.
That's
Wow.
a good business to get into.
We can get into the Alani business. So then we went to House of Pies. Also, they've been beating down my door to sponsor us for sure. You could tell by all the ladies there who knew who I was.
Yeah. You're pretty
Yeah,
big.
pretty big deal.
People
Pretty
know
big
you.
deal. Please put your card in here and stop talking to me. But you got your favorite pie?
Yes.
We hope. Maybe it's your favorite chocolate. There was pumpkin, but this is all, and you have this special, you get the special, whatever it's called, crochet.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was good.
Oh gosh.
Ding.
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
That's not how that works.
Here,
like
hold
this.
on. Taylor will do it for you.
You'd be like
see.
opening the pie. Yay,
Is that
it
what's
worked.
supposed to happen?
Yes, you're supposed to fall asleep.
Yes. Yeah,
Instantly.
that makes me fall asleep.
One
for sure.
ding.
Then you get to be on the podcast,
I know.
probably like internationally known podcast.
It's just big. It's a big day for
It
me.
is a huge day for you.
Big day.
So I guess what I'll tell you is you're welcome. for
Thank
that.
you. I really appreciate it. I had fun today.
No, we had a blast having you.
Ending the day with the podcast.
Yes,
I
ending the
know.
day with the podcast. If there's any way, if you could think of any way that we could help you, what would it be?
I guess. Why is this the hardest question?
Yeah. I mean, I think we can be available for sure. So if you have questions or things that you want to talk
Yeah.
about, or as you go through, if you decide you want to become an investment banker, totally fine. We may not be able to help you too much there.
Okay.
But from a medicine standpoint, you've got great options throughout the medical field. I think you're going to do awesome. You're going to do
Thank you.
really, really well with what you do. And
I
so
really appreciate it.
if we can help you in any way, just let us know. We'll help however we can. And then we'll let you get off and get going. Because I know you were planning on being here for like 2 hours and now you've been here for almost 10. So all good.
I would look at my watch. Oh, it did. It was stuck on a timer earlier, and I was like, I don't know how to get this
Oh,
off a
are
timer.
you a Garmin girl?
I am.
Counting steps. Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
I've been getting
He
into
just
running.
uses his hair patch on his arm to monitor the time.
It's a hair past a freckle. Look, it's always the same time. That way I always feel good. Hair patch on my arm. So sad. Taylor, you need to find good friends. Go work with good people. Meet great
I'm
people
like,
where
y'all
you
have
are.
great
Find those
dynamic.
friends.
And I was like, you were saying like with different like supervisors, you can have conflicts. I feel like this is just me experiencing this one day too, but like I feel like y'all work so well together. So
Yeah.
We did pay you to say that, so that's good. That's good.
I'm like, thank you. And I
well
gotta sign
done.
this paper.
Well done. Taylor, your vacation is also denied. I do intentionally deny all of her vacations, and she takes them anyway.
Yeah.
So
I
it
just do what I
kind of
want.
tells you who's the boss in reality here.
Her?
Yes.
No, Taylor rocks. The thing is, for where I sit, like just knowing that you have a great team, being willing to work with people is really, really important. So you're going to do fabulous in everything you do.
you.
Keep working hard, keep
will.
enjoying. I think
Trust
you
me.
heard my big advice for you for somebody earlier today was if you're going to, when you're studying, study like you're never going to see the information again. If you can train yourself to do that, then when it comes time for medical school, dental school, PA school, all of those things, it will make life much easier. It'll make it so that you don't, things that you could take you 4 hours to study may only take you 1 hour to study because you've convinced your brain, like, I'm not going to get a chance to review this, so I need to remember it now. And that is not in a stressful way, but it's just a way to help you to really
Reinforce it,
understand and to
yes.
reinforce. And there are good studies that show that people who don't have an opportunity to go look back and review information, they don't train themselves to come back and to forget it now so they can review it again later. So like each time that you highlight, each time that you underline, each time that you make a review sheet, that's subconsciously telling your brain, I don't need to remember this right now. And so the key is to try to, even if you're going to do those things, you got to convince yourself you're never going to have a chance to look at it again, because ultimately you may have that chance.
I think as the person with the education background, I would also say, while that holds for some people are different types of learners, and they actually do better when they highlight, when they create review sheets, when they write things down.
I do not pay her to disagree with me.
Just being a little bit of the devil's advocate here. So learning,
She
whether
has
that's
a
your first
Christmas
semester.
tree and a skeleton on her shirt, by the way. Christmas
wrong
tree
with that?
skeleton. Well,
Sort of merry, sort of scary.
yeah, that's sad. That makes me
You're
scared.
an orthopedic surgeon.
I know.
Skeletons are your business.
So are Christmas trees.
How?
I just like them.
How is that your business?
I don't know.
You talk a lot of
I was
nonsense.
to say.
It is all good. Well, we will tell you again, thank you for being here. So you can take my advice, study like you're never going to see it again, or Taylor's
I'll
advice,
do a study.
Which is learn how
I'll do
you
a study.
learn the best way for you to study,
Yeah. What
whether
way
it's
you
with
learn.
Alani or Nitro Cold Brew or chocolate pie. And if
Learn
you
the
ever
way
want to
that you
come back
learn.
and see us, come back and see
I
us, and
definitely
we'll go
will.
from here.
I
And
definitely
then we're going to count on you to explode the podcast in Arkansas.
Okay, I will. I'll tell
think
all
it's-
my friends. I'll send it in group meets and stuff. Random,
think it's-
all the ones I'm in right now. I'll just send it in there.
Suey.
And
Yes.
we'll tell them we love Arkansas and Texas A&M. The
Thanks and
burnt
kick
orange
'em.
guys, yeah. We're going to let them
We'll let them
live
just,
there.
yeah.
They're going to get to go play Michigan in a bowl game, so that'll be fun.
Fun for them.
All
I
right,
get this.
we got to finish with applause and music.
Yay for the applause.
And lastly, this is AJR. No, AS.
There we go.
Gross. Thanks for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
He doesn't like ASMR.